Apparently it says I'm live. Apparently we will see. Apparently. I'm trying to organize everything on my desktop so that I can see what's going on. Decided now. Welcome to the Academy Live. We got some news for you. But first of all, we've got an intro. That's right. You have to listen to this for 30 seconds before you get today's story. Music is the fuel. I tried the quiet stuff. Doesn't work. We'll get into the news in a minute. Okay, that was the Jimmy Hoffer Band, and welcome to the Academy Live, where we touch the stories that other people fear to talk about. Now, I had a bit of a crazy morning this morning. This is going to be 30 minutes live. I'm going to go live for 30 minutes because I've got stuff to do, so I'm putting it in the chat. 30 minutes of live what? Of live. Of live. 30 minutes of live. Just live stuff. Okay. So I got a bit of feedback from a friend of mine, Marianne Zerva from Total Music in Zvolen. Total Music, great shop. I was down there this morning and I got these fuzzy things for the end of my microphone. These little fuzzy things. Oh, you see it here? Yeah, it's waving it in front of my face. Got these fuzzy things for the end of my microphone. And hopefully that's going to make everything sound cool when I record stuff. Anyway, apparently you can't read some of the text that's on the screen when I'm doing the presentations. It might be due to your feed being slow or low. Check your connection. Speedtest.net. Check your connection. It's very, very simple. If you don't know how to check your connection, you go to Google. Google, where are you? It's over here. Okay. And you type in to Google speedtest.net, and it takes you right to the speed test page. And all you have to do is click begin when the page pops up. All you have to do is click begin. I know most people know that, but hey, cool, right. That's that. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about today, and I want to finish yesterday's session where we were talking about music and how music benefits people. So I want to get into that. Had to drive my car. I'll start with a story. For you. If you don't know, my name is G. I am the director of the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching. We are an online school which teaches the English language and offers life coaching sessions, personal development sessions to individuals and businesses so that you can improve the quality of your life, your world, your universe, whatever. If you have any questions, write them in the chat. I will write down notes in the chat as I go through. So speed test dot space net. Now I have to write the word dot because very often links do not appear. They are censored. So I'm sure you can work that out. You're all intelligent people out there, right? So my story to begin with is that, number one, I hate driving. Oh, did you see the pictures that I posted on my Facebook? If you haven't linked up to my Facebook, I had a little trip this morning and I took some pictures on my trip. Oh, wait a minute. You're going to be linked up to my Facebook anyway, because if you're watching this, it's going out on my Facebook. It's going out on my Facebook and a couple of other pages where it will be copied and pasted and can be viewed later. So, I'll copy and paste it later. I don't care now. I don't care now. We're going to be approaching 1,000 views altogether this week. 1,000 views altogether this week on the Academy sessions online, which is pretty cool. So if you right-click on the video, copy the URL and paste it into a window where somebody else can see it, that'll be fantastic on the net. If you don't know how to do that, don't worry. It's okay. Right. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, driving. I was talking about driving. I hate driving. I like being in other places. I just hate traveling. I hate driving. It's not the car. I like my car, Citroën C4 Grand. It's nice. It's the Picasso Grand version. It's not the small version, because the small version looks like an egg. But the big version looks like that's kind of meaty kind of vehicle. So that's pretty cool. And lots of space. You can fit a whole family, big family, in the back, along with other stuff like chairs and tables and doors and windows and pallets and all kinds of things. Right. Anyway, had to drive to the metropolis of Zvolen this morning. Why Slovak roads have holes in them everywhere? Wow, what is that about? Anyway, so not only do I hate driving, I hate parking. I hate trying to find a place to park. Ooh, should I try and find a place that's closer? And should I look for a place where I'm paying for parking, or should I try to look for a free spot? And and you can park here and you can't park there. And in Slovakia, people just kind of park everywhere. They would park in the trees if they could here. So it's pretty wild. So I went down to Zvolen to see one of my clients, Total Music, Hudobny Nástroj, in Zvolen. Recommend them. They have an online site too. Buy your stuff from them. They're cool. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. Very friendly guys. There. They have a shop that's a bit like a cave. You kind of walk in and you're just instantly surrounded by instruments and other things that connect to instruments. I'm not even sure what all those things are, but hey, which place is it? Okay, I'm writing in the chat. Visit Total Music. Is that no, it doesn't give me a link. Okay. In Zvolen. Visit Total Music in Zvolen. Nice people. Went to see my student. Well, he wasn't there when I arrived because he was at the dentist. We love dentists, don't we? Anyway, picked up the microphones, did my thing, got back to my car and got out of there. Because I don't know. Driving, parking, it's just stress. Who are these people who like to sit in their cars and drive around and drive? I don't. How can you enjoy anything when you're stuck in one place, in one position? It's about as useful as sleeping. As a personal thing, you would like driving if you had. No, it's not even about the car being nice. It's not about that. It's just a pain having to drive everywhere. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, don't get me wrong. Cars are useful things. Already described that. How would you pick up the shopping? How would you go on little trips? How would you get to the mountains? Well, I guess you could take a bus or a train. But anyway, that was my morning this morning. I don't like. What is it? I mean, men are supposed to like driving. What is that? What's it? Male ego on steroids. I know what it is. It's the law of percentages. You know what the law of percentages is? The law of percentages is that if you can increase the percentage opportunity that something will happen, then there's a higher chance that it will happen logically. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory, right? But so if you want people to pay attention to you, the louder your car is, the more attention people will pay to the car, and so theoretically, the more attention people will pay to you. The question is, what kind of people are going to pay attention to that? Not people like me, anyway, who are going to think, what an idiot, right? I remember putting my son to sleep when he was really young, and we lived in a flat on this long street. And 2 o'clock in the morning, these cars would race down the street. You know, you'd spend an hour and a half putting your kid to sleep, and then the kid would wake up. You know, you just wanted to go outside and find these people and smash their cars up with an axe. But it's not very practical, is it? So you can't really do it. Show some respect. I do respect, and I like cars. There's a space and a place for cars. My dad loves cars. President of the car club, Historic Wheels Car Club. Hi, Dad. Right. So there's something on the screen. Okay. One of the aims of the Academy is to bring to you something new. Something that you... Oh, is the audio going out? Okay, let me know in the chat if you can hear the audio. Okay. Is to bring to you things that are new. Things that you haven't encountered before. A lot of information. There's a lot of information out on the internet. Where do we go? Do we start here or here? You know, I get lost on the internet sometimes. So I was using a link the other day to explain something. And it was a link from the website Gizmodo, which is a technological website. And I clicked on it thinking that it would be a sensible, logical, intelligent explanation. And it was an article that was full of a lot of things that are not true, that I know are not true because I read, I study, I have discernment. I know that these things were not true about the people that were the subject of the article. And so that's kind of freaky. So you have to be careful with the articles. You have to find something which you know is going to work. You have to find people you can trust. So that's why I want to introduce you to Project Veritas. Project Veritas is run by a man called James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe is an independent journalist who does the hard work. And he does a lot of undercover hard work. You know, goes around, pretends to be certain kinds of people, has a little microphone and records conversations with people, a little bit sneaky, but that's what you have to do to get the truth. When people are trying to conceal the truth, you have to expose the truth. There's a lot of darkness in the world. It's time to shine some light. It's time to shine some light on it. And we can do that with the internet. We can do that with the internet. The internet is not for you to post little videos about your cat or your dog or your goldfish. It's not. It's not for any of those reasons. The internet is here to help us progress as humanity and to expose the darkness that does exist and to create a new age of enlightenment. Even though it was admitted yesterday by a lot of the content flow organizers, I'm talking about Google and Facebook and Twitter, that they are specifically limiting and controlling the posts and posting. In fact, the world's #1 journalist, Paul Joseph Watson, had all of his Facebook posts deleted for 24 hours, and then they put them back. Big games, big games. See, Google wants into China. Google wants to get into China. And to get into China, you have to prove that you can censor. And so this is what Google is doing right now. And if you don't believe me, just type into Google, Google's own search engine. Google proves that it can censor the West so that it gets access to the Chinese market. it's fun and games at a higher level. It's fun and games at a higher level. Anyway, there's a lot of great people producing a lot of great information on the internet. Remember, no one is accurate 100% of the time. Thankfully, no one is accurate 100% of the time, because if we were all perfect, wow, yeah, well, there you go. So, so use discernment. Try to judge carefully information. Okay, and I want to present to you what I wanted to talk to you about schools, because there's for all the good stuff happening in schools, there's a lot of bad stuff happening as well. And we've seen in the Western world a gradual, from this middle class group, a gradual decline in intelligence. Now, a certain group of the middle class has gone to the higher class, and the rest, well, they've just slowly descended in terms of IQ due to the new open systems and curriculums and no child left behind and standardized education and all of these new formulas that don't actually work because everyone is different. You can't make one t-shirt that fits everybody. So I wanted to highlight, as I've highlighted good things in the past, I want to highlight today some of the terrible stuff that's going on. And the mainstream media won't touch this because it's just too bad. It's too freaky for them. It's just like, oh, we want to pretend that the sun is shining and the birds are singing and all that matters is the next football match or the next pair of shoes you're going to buy. Oh my God, I got a story about that as well. Enough of my stories. I've spent way too long on the introduction here. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. James O'Keefe Strikes Again is the title of this video. Now, YouTube has been blocking the streaming of its videos onto Facebook, so I'm going to see if this works. If it cuts up too much, I'll just jump back and talk about something. Right. I will leave you in the comfortable hands of the interviewer, Mr. Alex Jones, and the interviewee, James O'Keefe.
Well, we go to James O'Keefe and Colonel Schaefer. We were just talking about at dinner last night. Great guy is going to be joining us. What a patriot behind the scenes. Believe me, folks, you have no idea. So much great stuff we do to defeat the globalists. It's Colonel Schaefer over and over again. The enemy knows that, so we're not telling them any secrets. But absolutely, thank you, brother. So there goes Craig Sawyer. I want to thank James O'Keefe for joining us at ProjectVeritas.com. He's being censored. He's being blocked. We don't just bitch about it. The point is, we're having a big effect. The guy that brought down Acorn, the guy that exposed the illegals voting to prove Trump right, the guy that exposed what Hillary is up to, the true game changer, joins us at the bottom of the hour. James O'Keefe, ProjectVeritas.com. We've got some videos on your site that are breaking today. Thanks for joining us to talk about the latest developments.
Thanks, Alex, for having me.
You got the floor, my friend. Wow, where to start with what Project Veritas is up to?
Well, we just released a story yesterday. The head attorney for the New York teachers unions is caught on video bragging about, this is the attorney for this teachers union, bragging about how he defended a teacher who raped a child. There he is, Mitchell Rubenstein, top attorney for this teachers unions in New York, putting a knife to the kid's head and forcing the child to perform oral sex on the teacher. Now, this was all done under seal. No one found out about it. He's bragging about it to, in his words, quote, impress a girl, is the comment that he has given us now about, I don't know how you impress women by bragging about child rape. But the point of this video is to show that the union is out of touch, out of control with the American people. And now we have Betsy DeVos as the education secretary. She's being attacked. She's under assault. She claims she doesn't like children. But here we have a case where we have one of these top lawyers violating privilege, breaking the law, leaking sexual details of a rape where the teacher was not charged. And he wasn't charged because we think the union protects not kids, but they protect bad teachers. And this video is breaking, and we're getting some reactions, and it may even prompt this lawyer to resign.
It's the craziness, though, that It's like Hillary famously was mainly somebody that represented pedophiles, child rapists, you name it. Then she made jokes about it. It's this underbelly that we continue to see come out over and over again of predatory activity.
That's right. I mean, this is another example of that. I mean, I'm very passionate about education reform and reforming our schools, and this is something that we've seen. We never really get to see the raw, brutal reality of it. And we see rubber rooms, we see problems in the education system, we see Betsy DeVos viciously attacked for wanting to reform the system. She says she doesn't like children, but then when you actually see the system operates, and we've done a story last year, Alex, I was on your show to talk about other New York teachers, New York union officials, and the things they were saying. They were telling child molesters to lie about what they were doing. They were encouraging people to lie. And they face charges, but they're not even forced to resign.
Well, remember your first mega hit, blowing up Acorn. You'd go in multiple facilities and say, I've got child sex slaves. They go, oh, let us help you cover that up. I mean, it's just like a part of business. These people are so slimy.
Yeah, they were saying to use the underage child sex slave as dependents on your tax returns. Since we're talking about tax returns today, they were telling me how to use these 13 El Salvadorian sex slaves as dependents to call their prostitution business performing arts on the tax return. But this video is we just called Alex this guy's boss, the head legal department for the entire state of New York, and he would not give us any information. He doesn't. All this stuff is happening behind the scenes. And are the rights of the teachers union members so absolute that they supersede the rights of a child not to be forced to give oral sex to a teacher? Are the teachers unions so out of touch and so out of control? I mean, it seems like they've lost their minds as well as their souls. They just have no regard for the welfare of children. And if you dare question them, if you investigate, if you do any of this, you're viciously attacked.
Just earlier this month, Chris Cuomo on CNN said that if your daughter in a school sees a man in the showers of the bathroom with his genitalia, that she's not being open, she should accept that. So it seems like they've got a weird agenda they're pushing.
Yeah, they are pushing a weird agenda, but it's about power. It has nothing to do with children. It's about power and control and not letting people. I mean, this is all adjudicated behind closed doors under seal. They say we're not going to give any comment about this matter. Well, what's your comment about breaking privilege? That attorney you just saw a moment ago, Mitchell Rubenstein, is bragging about the details of these cases. Like, well, I always defend the teacher. I got him off. The Mitchell Rubenstein says that the teacher passed a lie detector test when he talked about this sex, and psychologically he was thinking that the child consented to it. It's sick, twisted.
Children can't consent to sex. They're not at the age of consent.
I know it's twisted.
No, I know you know.
Sick.
I'm just.
The whole thing is disturbing. I was on Hannity's radio show yesterday, and they had to bleep out half of the recording because you couldn't even say some of this stuff. So if you're going to watch this video, fasten your seatbelts.
No, that's why we're not playing the video. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting. But this is what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah, we don't want it to be disgusting. We have to report the truth. It's on ProjectVeritas.com. It's on Infowars.com. We wrote an article about it with Shepherd Ambulance. Project Veritas exposes attorney who helped pedophile teacher get away with raping students at knife point. I mean, it's just, they're so disconnected, though. Like, I just don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah, it's very graphic, Alex. Some of the stuff kind of speaks for itself. There really isn't much to say, except we need to expose many, many more of these. And Alex, I did want to say one thing on your program today. Veritas we've got a number of undercover journalists. We're hiring a dozen more undercover reporters. And I'm saying this on your show because a lot of the people that watch your show have applied to be journalists. One or two of our journalists are here because of your show. And if you are interested in doing this, it's not for everyone. But if you see that type of stuff,
so I'm going to jump in here and explain what they're talking about. James has created his own culture of what I would call real journalism, which they're calling counter journalism, but it's really real journalism where people are recording what is happening around about them. They're using the technology to the benefit. Most people just see this technology of being able to record through video and audio as something that the state uses against the people. But what you can do if you've got a mobile phone, like I have down here, which will probably freak out if I unplug it from my computer. Got a backup over here. Let me get my see if I can get my back out. Oh, that did the same thing, didn't it? Okay. Doesn't really matter, does it? Okay. Right. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Okay, so that's how it works. So you can take your mobile phone and you can download an app called Smart Recorder. I've got it right here. Smart Recorder. Smart Recorder. It's great. And it's almost automatically set up. Basically, all you have to do is hit record, and it will record whatever you're saying, whatever anybody else is saying. And you can attach a microphone to it. I attach a microphone to it, much like this one, and I record all of my work for posterity and security. And it's very, very simple to do. Not only can you record that way, you can get applications that record the calls that come into your phone automatically. It's a very good application for business. I know a lot of business people who use that because I don't know if you have the experience. You have the experience of people say something and then they say they didn't say it. Right? And then what can you do? You don't have any evidence. So I think it's worth recording the interactions with people around about you. You can do it in a lot of different ways. This interests me. I record most of my work and a lot of other things that happen around about just because I've been in a lot of situations where people have said, I didn't say that. And then what can you do? You know, when someone says, it wasn't me, what can you do? I mean, it's the cheat's way out, but it's their way, isn't it? It's their way. Look, you can get stuff on the internet. I got this, well, not a plan. The stuff is just sitting in my office, right? This is actually a head cam or a body cam, and it's Velcro. Throw it, and you stick it. You can stick it around your head or somewhere else, and you can just record as you go, wherever you go. If you've got rip, so if you've got meetings in those government offices, any government offices where they tend to be a bit difficult, just protect yourself. Protect yourself. Have a little recording of what's going on there. And then we can all do our little bit. We can all do that little bit of undercover journalism and record what's going on around about and share it with people. The more we can shine a light on the darkness, the less bullshit that other people are going to have to deal with in the future. Darkness breeds darkness. Light breeds light. It's also a deep, horrible subject that they're talking about, the way that children are used and abused. It gets more shocking when you have your own kids and you start to worry about if they're okay. We've got 10 more minutes of that. Can we jam in 10 more minutes? We'll probably jam in another. It's probably not all interview, but I'll shut up and take a back seat and let them continue moving on to the next part of their discussion. We'll get into a little bit of politics and things that have happened recently. Oh, by the way, did you hear about Trump's 2005 tax return? Did you hear about that? Do you know how much tax he paid? He paid more than almost everyone else. He paid more. And all these things about, Trump hasn't paid tax for 18 years. Google search. Trump hasn't paid tax for 18 years. And that's what the newspapers were saying. And they were wrong. They were wrong. They were wrong. Now, do big businesses dodge tax? Dodge tax, not pay tax? Do small businesses dodge tax, not pay tax? Everybody tries to dodge some of it. It's natural. It's natural. Yeah. Anyway, I don't advocate not paying what you should pay. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, I believe, is the idea. Okay, so we're going to go back to the conversation between Mr. Jones and Mr. O'Keefe, and let them talk through the rest. I'll try to be quiet.
And you want to go out there and do it, I will pay you recruiting at projectveritas.com to be sort of undercover agents, undercover investigative reporters. Recruiting at projectveritas.com. Send us your resume. Send us a cover letter with why you want to do this. And I'm hiring more people to do this, Alex, because there are 1,000 more cases like that.
Oh, exactly. There's so many. It's like you got one, batter, and they got a ball machine shooting a ball every half second. We need more people to be able to, go after this. And absolutely, our listeners are great activists. They should contact you. They should get involved because it's just an incredible time to be alive. Since you mentioned it, what do you make of Matt on these tax returns and how it blew up in her face? It seems like everything they do blows up in their face now.
Yeah, I think she definitely overhyped the story. I saw that, and when your own side, when the mainstream media even thinks that you've gone too far, you really have a problem. So I think she realizes she went too far. I mean, she on the program last night, she actually held the documents and said, "This is it. This is all I got." There's a total lack of self-awareness. But I am so beyond, I am so beyond even worrying about these people anymore. I think that we are at the tipping point where as long as we do the reporting ourselves and put it out there, they'll be forced to cover it. The power of the people on social media.
It's the people.
Is much bigger than what they have.
All right, one more segment. I want to get into that because, look, when Breitbart gets censored, we talk about they try to put you in jail, we cover it. We need everybody out there to know. InfoWars on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. I know it happens to you, too. They're just blocking us, admitting it. Gizmodo celebrating it. I mean, like Senator Rand Paul comes on, they block it and say it's fake news. It's like a 15-minute interview with a senator. I mean, it's because we're criticizing the health bill. They don't want that out there. So, what do we do about the censorship? We'll be back. So, they've tried to put him in prison. They call him a criminal on the news for just simply covering what these other groups are doing. And now they're after InfoWars. The censorship is intensifying, even though they're losing the culture war. Not just here, but all over the world. Globalism's in trouble. Liberalism's in trouble. But they don't care. They're accelerating. So James O'Keefe of ProjectVeritas.com. In the time we have, what do you make of the landscape right now, where Trump's going? I agree with you. We're winning. But, man, they are really trying to block our listeners. Forget our own Facebooks or Twitters. They're keeping our listeners from sharing this to their own friends and family on these platforms. This is outrageous. I mean, if Venezuela or Russia was doing this, it'd be a big deal. But, oh, it's okay because they're liberal.
Alex, that's a great point. I get asked every day. I get tweets and Facebook messages. James, I can't follow your story because YouTube won't let me subscribe to you. This is what's happening right now. This is what they're doing. These engineers at these social media companies are adjusting their algorithms. They're making it so that you don't get notifications if you follow you or me. This is the constant flurry of messages I get. Some individual or a series of individuals in these media corporations, especially in the social media companies, are tinkering, modifying, and breaking their own policies by banning people like you and I or censoring us and how to follow us. So what is the answer to that problem since social media we depend upon? Here's the answer. Veritas has to investigate and target those people and catch them on tape in the act.
That's what I was thinking next. Now it's time to infiltrate Google, Facebook, and Twitter.
That's exactly what I got to be careful about broadcasting exactly what I'm going to do. But mark my words that we are trying to catch those people on tape. There's thousands of them.
Well, hell, Facebook admits they censor conservatives.
Well, it's one thing to admit it. It's another thing to get them in the act doing it,
sure,
making fun of it and saying, oh, I want to ban Alex Jones today? Let's take him out. Let's take this guy out. If you do that, if we can catch
if you got Roger Stone, they go, oh, look, we banned him. Ha, ha, ha. You have it on tape.
Yes, we
banned Veritas. Ha, ha, ha.
That's exactly, and we want to expose exactly how they do it. And they are private companies, but they yield monopolies, and they have a public.
They're wide open. They're fair game, and it's false advertising. They act like they're free and open. They're not.
No, they're not free and open. So the solution, in my opinion, is not an easy answer. It's not what everyone wants to hear. But we got to catch these guys in the act of banning people and censoring them. Social media, in my opinion, I think your opinion too, has become more powerful than the mainstream media.
Oh, absolutely.
But the social media companies are governed by people who are fundamentally opposed to our republic and how we operate. So we have to expose them in the act.
I agree. What do you make of the arrogance, though? This never works out well. They're doing it still in a quasi-free society. It's blowing up in their face. Don't they get that this isn't going to work?
No, because they've never, just like the teachers union, they've never been held accountable in their entire lives. Everyone's sucking up to them. They have lobbyists. They are close to those in government. They've never been held accountable. They never had a difficult question be answered of them because everyone wants something from them. So that's why you need people who are unafraid. And you're afraid of retaliation. Well, I'll take the arrows. I will take the abuse. I'll take the lawsuits. I got sued by a woman within Common Core last week from a video I did a year ago that was on your show. She sued me, and I just go public with the information. I just tell the people what they're doing. We have to go after these people. We have to expose them, and it's not easy. But that's why
I was about to say, though,
guerrilla journalists.
This isn't a call for help. We're your champions. We're on the battlefield. Project Veritas, InfoWars, sponsorships, donations to Veritas, buy our products. I mean, I don't want to even get into the inside baseball behind the scenes, but the same stuff O'Keefe goes through. It's a war, okay? I mean, you name it, it's being done. And I'm not bitching. I know I'm in a war with scum. I expect it, but just know this. This isn't entertainment. This isn't a game. We need your financial support. Spread our links, spread our articles as well, because they're trying to block them because they're powerful.
That's right. And Alex, again, the other thing we need other than donations is a specific type of undercover reporting. That
volunteers, soldiers.
Volunteers. I'll pay. I'm hiring journalists, recruiting at projectveritas.com. If you think, you know what, I want to go inside of Google and I want to catch their people.
Oh, that's an idea. We should just call for people that are already inside. They want to be patriots. Contact you. I mean, hell, you're the one.
That's another thing that's happening. Alex, that's another thing. Ever since we announced the CNN story, we've had people inside of these media companies who are contacting me. The problem is so like I can't say who I'm working with, but they don't want to wear a wire or record them because they would get burned. So I have to, they'll tell me where the bodies are buried. They'll say, James, go talk to the vice president. His name is Smith. He's the one breaking the law. So I gotta take a journalist, go in there because I can't burn the people that contact me.
They're giving you leads, and then you've got to follow them up.
That's it. That's exactly right.
And it's hard work, and you're doing a great job, and we're so blessed to have you there and your whole team. ProjectVeritas.com. James O'Keefe, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, folks, you want somebody to fight for the country. I'm not bragging. We're doing it. He's doing it. This isn't a game. I mean, this is war. We've got...
That's it. That's it. That's the report. Alex finishes with his war. Yes. It's better to have an information war than it is to have a real war. But how do you know your information is the truth? I'll give you one way. I'll give you one surefire, solid gold, silver bullet way to know if something is the truth. This is the fact that the truth remains the same. The truth does not change, but a lie will always change. How do you know someone is lying? Because the story changes. They'll try one way, and if that doesn't work, they'll try another way, and if that doesn't work, they'll say it was because of another reason, or they'll have another suggestion. That's how it works. That's really how it works. All corruption, all negativity, all darkness must be exposed sooner or later in order for humanity to progress. That's why in the Christian religion you can become born again later, because you can have a second chance at being a good person, basically. Other questions that came out of the discussion: who is the media accountable to? That's a very good question. The media is kind of accountable to the media. So how does that even work? To prove the truth, you have to catch people in the act, because saying someone did something is just going to be countered by somebody else saying that they did something. There's a lot of censorship going on the internet right now, and there's a lot of playing around with the results of the number of videos being watched, and there's a lot of playing around with figures and statistics. Statistics can make them mean anything that you want them to mean. I mean, that goes back to Thomas Malthus, who just invented his systems for statistics, and everyone believed that they were right, and they were wrong. So that's pretty crazy. So that's what I wanted to get into today. Stories from the other side. Now, if you want to keep in touch with us, you have to link to my Facebook page, Graham W. Hendrey. You can also link to the Native Speakers Academy Facebook page, or you can join our private coaching group online, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching. There are still about 20 places left for people who want personalized individual development. We are the Academy. We are a small private online school, basically working through Skype now to improve people's language skills and personal development skills. If you want more information, get in touch with us. The information is at the bottom of the screen right there. It's amazing how little information we can get through in 45 minutes. It's really crazy. I have another 10 stories on my desktop that I want to get to. We'll see if I can pop back later. And I still want to finish the music article that we did yesterday. We'll see how much time we have. If you want to link to the original video, I'm going to just copy it, and I'm going to paste it into the chat so that you get everything that I have. Where's the box? There we go, comment. Link to video. If there's a story that you'd like me to cover, then I'll be very happy to cover it for you. If you want to call in and chat, you can do a live chat. And we can do a live chat together. I will try to answer your questions. What else? That's about it. Things to do, tidy up, clients coming. I just ran into the office today and turned on the computer, so I've got, it looks organized, but I've got screws and a t-shirt and other things I have to tidy up, and just these things that you find lying around an office, right? Okay, thanks very much for paying attention. Energized and signing out with the Jimmy Hoffa band. Which track? This one, I believe. Have a good afternoon. I know. I look like a Muppet.